podcast, hosted by your girl NV Allison and your OG Shizzy Brazil, with his John Singleton face ass. LOL. Anyway, let's get it.
Men up and that kind of thing. Is there a breaking point if 5 guys are out, including Examada, where it's tough to take too much out, or how do you approach that mentally as a that?
Everybody's got to be ready to play. No matter who's on the court, just got to play harder. Everyone steps on the court. Every possession has to matter, and just got to play harder. That's it.
Is that something that you've seen the last couple games? Do you think it's like a team-wide effort level?
I mean, every night, the effort has to be there. We have to, like I said, it just has to matter. Every possession, every minute that we have on the floor has to matter. Yeah.
Dwight, you guys allowed just 15 points in the second quarter, and then the next quarter, 42. What was the change in your mind happened between those periods, and what?
It's just all effort. Effort is the key. That's the key right there, effort. Got to play with effort. No matter what we do, we got to play with effort.
Dwight, obviously you guys have not been doing your whole team yet this season, and the guys are missing.
No excuses.
Understanding that, so that you haven't had. What do you feel like you've been able to accomplish in these first 10 games if you haven't yet been able to really put all the pieces together and see what you are healthy?
We can't make excuses. Effort, energy and effort, and humility.
How much have you guys talk about the process you're going through, how difficult it is?
What's the difficult process?
Well, you got LeBron out, KD sick.
That's what happens. Things happen. We can't make no excuses. No excuses.
When you say humility, is that something that you haven't displayed yet?
No, don't take my words out. I just said we have to. That's the only way we can win. Humility, energy, and effort, and go out there every night and just play. Like I said, effort has to be there.
So the energy and effort, we know where that comes from. Where do you get humility from? How does that come?
That's all I can say on it. I don't want y'all to try to turn my words into something. But if we're going to win, we have to be humble. We're not the championship team that we want to be right now. So for us to get there, we have to stay humble. There's no knock on who we are as players. It's just, as a team, if you want to win, on any level, you got to stay humble.
Got to stay humble and humility. Dwight Howard said Lakers 105-90. Dame has 25 points. The Lakers are now 5-5 through the first 10 games of the season. Carmelo Anthony scored 12 points off the bench. He's now speaking with the media.
Melo, just kind of asked Dwight a similar question, but when everybody talks about next man up principles when certain guys are out, but over your course of your career, how do you try to find cohesion in a moment when the rotation's changing so much, and then what are the things you try to do?
Just playing basketball. I think for the most part tonight we should have we didn't play basketball. We didn't just go out there and compete. We didn't play hard. We've only played in spurts. Those guys came out hitting on all cylinders, especially in that first half to get that big lead. But it's going to be like that. This is part of the game. We don't know who's going to be in there. We don't know, not twice, but a lot of times where, guys go down and, the guys are trying to search and figure out what they're supposed to do, and lineups change. But hey, man, that's the luxury of being in the NBA. You just never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to get injured. You never know when your number's going to get called. And that was the case tonight.
How are you able to? Can you evaluate your team for LeBron and AD sick
game? But as of yet, we haven't had all our guys out there. So it's we think about that. But when you're out there on the court, it's hard to think about. It's hard to think about that.
We've talked more about your history with Russ. I'm curious, what have you made up on performance tonight, not a good game by Russ's standards, and then his overall fit here these first 10 games with his adjustment?
Well, I mean, we've seen him in some games that we had at home. Only he knows what he has to do. We got to be there just to support him, and then that's what we would do.
Carmelo, you talk about just the effort not being there tonight. How much of that do you think was a response to seeing AD have to leave early? And do you guys feel like you handled that as well? I
didn't even know AD left, to be honest. And early in the game, I was looking for him. I thought he went to the back to get taped or something. I didn't know what was going on. I was just so knew that he wasn't on the bench. He wasn't in the game at one point in time. But I had no.
Things start to get away in that first half.
The defensive end. We wasn't enough urgent. Wasn't up on screens. Really didn't execute the game plan how we supposed to, and that's why they got away.
The consistent theme that we've had to talk about is guys going out of the lineup. Tonight, 6 players not available. Portland has the full roster. You can't use it as an excuse, I know, but how do you try to find some continuity with the guys that are in and out?
I knew that he wasn't on the bench. He wasn't in the game at one point in time. But I had no.
Things start to get away in that first half.
The defensive end. We wasn't enough urgent. Wasn't up on screens. Really didn't execute the game plan how we supposed to, and that's why they got away.
The consistent theme that we've had to talk about is guys going out of the lineup. Tonight, 6 players not available. Portland has the full roster. You can't use it as an excuse, I know, but how do you try to find some continuity with the guys that are in and out?
WTF Sports on Shizzy Lit podcast, hosted by your girl NV Allison and your OG Shizzy Brazil, with his John Singleton face ass. LOL, anyway, let's get it.